Now we're getting a little bit more of the dippage, dare I say, when we look at this market, we look at this action. It's actually bringing a little speculation. Could the run hypothetically be over? Now, I do believe we have some underlying tones and things that we're going to attack here. The structure is clearly still bullish in the long run, okay? I'm going to start off with that. People keep saying that the long run is over. No, no, no. Okay, short term, we have to talk about that because there's a target and they're all coming to fruition. We talked about the Nasdaq, the S&P 500 specifically, but a few of these equities, specifically some of the options that we mentioned yesterday, are starting to play out. So those are the ones we're attacking today because there's some hot picks that I believe you need to be paying attention to. Let's not waste time. Let's get to it. So the first thing that we're looking at very quickly, let's jump. This is the Nasdaq. Okay, so we saw the 16.6 level we mentioned basically the whole beginning of this week. We broke below. From there, rejection. This is the 2-hour chart, by the way. Rejection. It's pushing down. Okay, now we come out this morning, right? This is 1 a.m. We set a little top there from London's open. We kind of double top there throughout the beginning of this morning at 9 a.m. And then we're just putting in lower highs continually. So people keep saying, when are you looking to buy? When are you looking to buy? Well, I'm never looking to buy when you're only making lower lows and lower highs. That's never a time to buy. Okay, in the grand scheme of things, you go back to the weekly, right? Let's again gotta keep you honest, keep me honest too, right? You're still above the 90 MA. You haven't broken back below the major level of 16,000. We haven't put in a lower low on the weekly or the daily, really, and you know those are still all intact. Short term though. Again, pullback still seems kind of likely. Again, the overall target has been at least back to 16.2, and I do think we could start seeing this into tomorrow. You have a little bit of data, your unemployment numbers, but again, more of that will be here very soon. Okay, so let's start jumping into these levels and what's happening. Now, you also see the prime levels coming in, showing you, right? Again, it's never good when you're seeing more order blocks, more liquidity levels only showing up basically for the downside as resistance, and that just keeps happening. You can actually see overnight too, where we start to sell off here too, is that's where it comes back into, right? Let's just zoom in just a little bit so you can see you come back into that order block and the liquidity level, reject again and again and again. So again, not a good start for the day. Now, also too, I gotta say right now, consider liking and subscribing. It helps out the channel tons. Every single day we make videos for you so you are prepared. If you wanna check out our indicators that are here as well, as you can see, these are all custom and scripted for you to the max. So you can actually use these every single day on all your favorite stocks. The link is down below, so make sure you check them out. Okay. So again, that's what we're looking at there. We go over to SPY. We look at SPY really quick. Now, what we wanted to see was this, okay? Now, let me also go over to Twitter so you can see. I love showing you guys stuff on Twitter as well because it's just the easiest way for me to get news out to you as quickly as possible. So I go over to media. We go really quick here. Yesterday, right? Yesterday, 3 p.m. at close yesterday, I said you want to see this if you're bearish. A break below the key level of around 468, high 468, more like 469, a retest and a push down. Well, what happens today, right? What happens today? On the 2-hour chart, you can see we were mounting that all day long. Near after lunch, we break. You can go to the 15-minute, the whatever you want to look at here, and look at the retest you get. Break, retest, rejection, right? Now, you're not always guaranteed a high time frame retest, so you got to be paying very close attention. So again, those are very critical things that we're seeing here. And you're breaking just very quickly below some of these other local levels here, right? That's why I didn't even have this marked out because we already knew the weakness that would ensue from here. So I do believe your next level is down here near 465. That's going to be your next level. And you do, let's get rid of this just a little bit cleaner. Something that we're not going to be able to see there as well is that you do have a new demand zone that's going to be down here on the 2-hour established here on SPY. So again, 465, 464 will most likely come in a rush. And you're also going to see we're in a very illiquid area as well, right? You're going to know this whole level is going to be pretty illiquid. But again, you're going to be able to see that, you know, it really gets illiquid. You have a little bit of something there, but it's just going to keep on trickling down. But you have no liquidity in this minor range there either. Now, sometimes I like to be on the floor, right? I like the floor seat sometimes. So I got to be down here with you guys in the trenches, in the grinding. We're in the floor. We're in the home office. But when we look at this action, you know, it's very interesting that what we're looking at here. I'm going to go over some equities here in a second, but, you know, people say we don't like trading the downside. I love trading the downside, but you got to have confirmation of said downside so you're not opening up your risk too much here. And some of these plays we're going to mention, you're going to start seeing the money just roll in. Now, for instance, I was doing the 3K account on Options AI, that, the only broker I've been using here for a while now, and a good sponsor here of the channel as well. We got that almost to like 9,500 at highs, and we ended up selling at our stop losses trigger on everything. As we moved those trails from the 3K, like we got down to like 6,800, and then I pinballed between 63 and 68. So I wasn't able to give you that many updates. Okay, so those are things that you got to be kind of considering here. But just from this small move, we were about to able to get back up. So I'm going to go over that here in a second, because when you're able to identify those opportunities where you make the big bucks, right? And when you trade in that chop is where you lose all your money. So again, no gimmicks or anything like this, and all this stuff like it's been mentioned in Discord or sometimes mentioned on Twitter. A lot of it's mentioned here on YouTube as well. We had almost a 20% run, easily pushing back up with something like AVGO, which is again something I mentioned here for you guys for free here on Twitter as well. 1060. Now we go a little bit deeper. We look at AVGO and we start to see some of this nice liquidity. And this is just on the small dip right now. So we have our target number 1, which is around this little demand zone. And then we have a little bit further down towards 1,000. And honestly, you could start slipping even faster. So you're seeing what's happening here as well. You start to get below that level, weakness ensues. Another name that I'm liking a lot too is Microsoft. Again, Microsoft, you had a little bit of a bounce from that key level, but this is what you're looking for, guys, and why I'm looking for. Let me explain, right? This is your previous high right here. This is your previous all-time high, and you're mounting that clearly now. But if you lose this, you don't have much, right? Let me show you a visual here too. Sometimes the liquidity tool just shows you so much. You can see you get below that 365 range and it's almost a clear shot down to 350. You have a few little levels in here, but I mean, you're quickly moving down to 360. And then after that, 350 is coming quick. So again, these are names you got to be paying attention to. These are what I'm liking here, right? So a little bit deeper as well, right? And you're seeing a lot of the names that are really making you money are some of the ones that have been holding you the best. So again, if this level starts to break, that's where big opportunity strikes. Now, in this range here, you're going to lose a lot of money if I'm just trying to trade up and down, up and down, up and down. Now, you can trade that clear range, but again, where you make the money is when you break said structure, right? So let me give you a visual, and Tesla's been a good one, like, right? We've made quite a bit on Tesla. Jay's been killing this one also. Okay, so Tesla, I mentioned this on Twitter as well. I said, look, you're flirting with breaking back into the trenches, aka hell, right? You've been trading in this box range from 246 down to 230, and you have your 200 SMA. This is probably one of the best looking short opportunities you're going to get here. Okay, so let me explain a little bit further. So you break down, you quickly get that move, and look what happens. Let's go to the 2 hours so you can see when you get that break back in, it's an instant drop. You gap down quickly to 244, and then from 244 within an hour you're back down to 236, an $8 drop. And then right now you're getting that bear flag. Well, everyone's looking to go try to go long. You think you're going to get bounced. It's clearly a bear flag here on the 2 hour. You also are going to have that magnet right here at the 200 SMA. Okay, one of the better setups, right? I'd probably start taking profits around 232 just so you have a heads up. Another one, Apple, again, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful setup here, right? So again, Apple, you keep getting downgrades, and downgrades are not your best friend. So someone in Discord today, it was really interesting, and this is like one of the best descriptions of how I talk about Discord. People are like signals, this and that. It's not what it is. Not signals, nothing like that. But what I do want to tell you, what I do want to talk about is understanding your risk management, understanding how you need to be trading. So I mentioned Apple this morning in the trading it. One guy made 14%, one guy made 24%, and then he also made 40%. So it just depends how you're trading here. Now, if you're not putting in work, you don't know how to trade for yourself, then you're probably not going to make any money. But look here, like let's just really break this down. So you had the initial breakdown today, but let's look what happened. Okay, it's something a little bit interesting, and Jay mentioned this again in Discord also. So you start breaking down, fake the breakout, and you push back up. And then you reject right here at 183. But where does that level come from? You go to the daily, you zoom out. Let's go way, way, way out. But guess what that level is? It's your previous all-time high from 2022, 2021, right? You zoom back in here and look what's happening. Look at the instant rejection and selling stepping back in. So again, similar to Tesla, I think what you're looking for here is one, get below and hold below the VWAP, get below 181.6, and you're looking for downside back into the 200 SMA near 180 flat. So these are some really great opportunities that I'm liking across the board. Last but not least, I'm going to mention NVIDIA. Now, NVIDIA, very, very simple name you're watching here, and you kind of have one of those perfect like flag setup sound really happening here. Again, it's a little bit ugly, but let's really look at what's happening. You go to something like the 4 hour, 2 hour, becomes a little bit more clear. And really, it's really, really ugly. I'm sorry. Again, but what you're looking for here, I think you got a little bit of a double top action happening here, and you're looking for one that neckline break near 473. But if you want to get aggressive, what you're looking for is to get below 476. Below 476, NVIDIA is very, very weak. And you're looking for, in my opinion, 460, 455 locally down here as well. And this will come in quick. I think the whole semiconductor sector could get hit very, very easily, very, very quick. These are my favorite plays. These are the biggest and best trades that I'm looking at. Okay, so definitely there's a lot better setups forming out today. And the reaction that we saw from that bounce, right? So you ended up dropping on Nasdaq to like almost perfectly to our target, a little bit higher, 16.4, like 5, 16.44. You bounce back into 16.6. The reaction that you got from Nasdaq told us a lot. Told us one, buyers don't have the momentum yet. And I'm going to tell you right now, when I think the buyers and bulls take back control, if they're going to, is going to be with two things. One, inflation data comes out again. CPI, PPI, PCE, one of those come out really good again. Okay, that's number one. The number two, it's going to be the next time Powell or a large member of the Fed speaks, right? So one of extreme importance, preferably Powell. Okay, those are going to be the two factors that are going to dictate getting love back into the market, because it's all playing out with DXY in the 30-year yield. You're seeing the 30-year yield showing a lot of strength. I didn't get to go over those today. I'll go over them on Twitter later on, but I don't want to make the video too long today either. So when you're looking at the DXY 30-year yield, you're seeing a lot of pain from those. Those are the ones that are really hurting the market now. And that's what we've seen related back to NQ. And so you're not seeing the confidence just yet right now. But if we get more emphasis on deflation, things happening there, again, I do believe personally that, again, that's what's going to be, that can be the catalyst to get the dollar back to the downside and get the 30-year yield back to the downside. Okay, so those are things that can help you in the long run if you're a bull. But in the short term, it's very clear. More downside is very likely. Now, again, I'm not saying I'm bullish on or bearish on the entire market. So I'm saying, but in the next day or so, I still see continued downside. I hope that is very, very clear coming from my side of this. Okay, so understand the difference between short-term, long-term, and how this is all playing out. I'm not holding swings either. I think swings are very dangerous right now. Okay, especially to the upside. You got to wait. You got to be patient. And remember, you don't need to catch the bottom. You just need to see when the trend starts to flip. And then once that trend starts to flip, that's when you take advantage, and that's when you start to get back aggressive in the market. Because again, we know that sideways chop is where you lose almost like 100% of the time. That's where your P&L starts to go a little bit on the red side, and you need to be protecting your capital at all points in time. See you guys tomorrow.